ones. Those were cool. They're so cool. So anyway, I think we were talking about this guy at the tea house.
Meat.
Yeah, the meat and the flies and things like that. And he had this, guess what? Propane burner underneath this, like it looked like a 50-gallon drum that he kind of like cut off, and maybe it's like about this deep or so, with this black kind of motor oil stuff in it. I was thinking it was probably some kind of cooking oil, but I really had no idea exactly what it was. And so I looked at him, he looked at me, and I said, "Burger?" He smiled, he had his teeth missing, and he says, "Ah, yes. You want this?" I go, so I said, I went like, so I walked over to Son. I said to Son, I'm about to go ahead and buy one of these things. I said, if I buy this and eat it, will I die? And he looked at me, and he looked at the guy, and he looked at me, and he says, probably not. So I said, okay, here we go. So I went over there, and I says, one. So he took this meat, and his hands were filthy. I mean, they were just like gross. He took his hands, took a chunk of meat like that, and made this little patty thing, you know. And he put it in this like a spatula, and he slid it down into the oil. And the little thing went, it like disappeared. So I'm sitting there watching this, and all my buddies were watching, thinking he's going to die for sure. So I'm watching it, and it's kind of bubbling. And all of a sudden, the thing floats up to top. And he took the little spatula and he scooped it out, you know. Then he had some old newspapers, and he put the thing in a newspaper, and he kind of drained it, got the oil off of it like that. Then he had some naan. And he put the thing in some naan, put some sauce on it, and I paid him like my 10 rupees or whatever it was. And so all my buddies were all around me, thinking, we're going to watch, he's going to die. And I took a bite of this thing, and it was really good. It was like a really good burger. I mean, it was like goat something or other with spices and things like that. It was really great. I ate the whole thing, and they're still waiting for me to collapse over, and I said, another one. And then they all bought a burger. They all bought a burger. And everybody was happy. The guy was selling burgers like crazy. We're all eating burgers and having a good time watching the motor oil and things disappear and come back up again. And I mean, like the flies were happy because they were getting fresh meat. And it was just cool. It was cool. But that was one that they didn't get sick from, which is pretty cool. But then the other story was a day or two before that, we were traveling up in the mountains again, and we were at some kind of a office. What was the office? It was a place that they were doing research or whatever it was. I really don't know what it was, but we never went inside. But Hassan went inside and had some friends there he was talking to. And this one Pakistani guy came out and says, we're going to serve you lunch. He said, would you like some chicken? And I said, chicken would be great. Like fried chicken would be great. You know? So I thought, okay, fried chicken's good, you know, well, whatever. So we're kind of hanging around the van and waiting. All of a sudden, about 2 minutes later, the guy comes out. And I see him chase the chicken around the yard. And he grabs the chicken, takes off a knife, and starts chucking the head of this chicken off. Chicken's going crazy, blood's everywhere. I mean, the chicken's flopping around with no head on it, things like that. I go, oh, I didn't realize I was just, you know, sending a chicken to its chicken death, you know. So we watched him dispatch 3 or 4 more chickens, you know, and then about half an hour later he came back with this nice little white bag with nice little fried chicken in it. And I tell you one thing, it was very fresh. Very fresh.